If you have scrolled through social media recently, you've probably seen this. Glamorous clinics promising the secret to eternal youth through stem cell drips. The captions are irresistible. Reverse aging, glow from within, look 10 years younger. And the pictures, beautiful people hooked up to sleek IV drips with filters so good, you'll think aging was a choice. Now, more and more Singaporeans are heading across the causeway to Malaysia for it. Johor Bahru, KL, you name it. Just Google stem cell therapy Malaysia and you'll find clinics like BioYouth, Regenera, Eterna. I mean, who doesn't want to feel like Benjamin Button on a weekend trip? But here's the real question. What's actually in those drips? And I'll be honest, even as a doctor, I once fell for the allure of anti-aging promises myself. A few years ago, I tried what was marketed to me as stem cell therapy. They drew blood from me with a needle roughly the size of a bubble tea straw. I'm not exaggerating. And they told me they would cultivate my cells, re-inject them later for rejuvenation. It sounded futuristic. And the idea of using my own cells to reset my body, now who wouldn't be tempted? A few weeks later, the cells were re-injected into my bloodstream. I was told this would boost immunity, repair aging cells, and slow the clock. Maybe wake up with the metabolism of a teenager, the skin elasticity of a newborn seal. But only later did I find out what I actually had was actually NK cell therapy, not stem cell therapy at all. Now, NK stands for natural killer. They are part of your immune system, specialized white blood cells that help destroy infected or abnormal cells like early cancer or virus-infected ones. In some medical settings, NK cell therapy is being studied to boost immune function or fight certain cancers, but it's not the same as stem cells, and it doesn't regenerate tissues, rebuild organs, or make your skin younger. It mainly enhances immune surveillance, and that's it. So did I feel any different afterwards? Did my white hair turn black? My skin live itself miraculously? Honestly, none of the above. And while I'll admit I was a little disappointed, I also understood the allure. Because when you're constantly surrounded by messages promising to reverse aging, it's easy even for doctors to want to believe. I'm not saying don't ever try these treatments, but it's important to go in with your eyes open and with a clear understanding of what's proven science and what's still wishful thinking. Which brings us back to the question, what's actually in those so-called stem cell drips that people are crossing the border for? So what are stem cells really? Now think of stem cells as your body's master cells. They are like blank tiles in a Scrabble set. They can turn into muscles, skin, nerve, whatever your body needs more of. In proper evidence-based medicine, we use them for serious stuff. Bone marrow transplants, for leukemia, tissue repairs, for burns or severe injuries, and research into Parkinson's or spinal cord damage. But those anti-aging drips you see online, now that's a completely different story. So what these so-called stem cell therapies are, and here's how it typically goes. Clinic offers you an anti-aging package that includes an IV drip of stem cells or cell extracts, often not from you, but donated from umbilical cords or placentas. They are processed in the lab, frozen, thawed, and then infused into your bloodstream. Sometimes they are even injected into your face or your scalp. And to make it sound even fancier, clinics will throw in exosomes, NAD boosters, or DNA repair infusions. Well, basically anything that sounds sciencey enough to justify the price tag, which by the way can range from $2,000 to $10,000 per session. And because youth is apparently a subscription service, these are often sold in bundles. So does it actually work? Here's where we have to be brutally honest. There's no scientific evidence that injecting stem cells into healthy people reverses aging, boosts energy, or regenerates skin. Most studies are done on animals or small groups of patients with specific diseases, not healthy people who want better skin. And when it comes to beauty claims, smoother skin, fewer wrinkles, glowing complexion, the evidence is either weak, inconsistent, or just plain non-existent. Even optimistic researchers describe it as promising but preliminary. Translation, maybe one day, but not yet. So those studies clinics love to cite on their websites, most are either industry funded or based on 5 to 10 patients with no control group and subjective measures like, oh, patients felt rejuvenated. Now that's not science, that's marketing and a lab coat. So where stem cells actually shine? No, I'm not saying stem cells are nonsense across the board. Far from it. They are a breakthrough in medicine, just not for beauty or anti-aging yet. For instance, blood cancers like leukemia. Bone marrow transplants have saved lives for decades. Joint damage and arthritis. Stem cells are being studied to help cartilage grow. Wound healing and burns. Lab-grown skin has already helped real patients recover faster. Neurology. Research is underway on how certain stem cells might repair nerve damage or slow Parkinson's disease. So these are real, peer-reviewed and medically supervised uses, not weekend spa treatments promising to turn back time. Now, Singapore versus Malaysia, why people cross the border. In Singapore, the Ministry of Health treats stem cells and exosome products as cell tissue and gene therapy products. That means strict approval, clinical trials, lots of paperwork. There are no approved stem cell treatments for beauty or anti-aging here. So if a clinic in Singapore offered it, they'll be breaking the law. Malaysia, on the other hand, has looser enforcement. Their Ministry of Health says only blood-related stem cell use is established. Everything else, like cosmetic or anti-aging, is still experimental. But experimental isn't illegal. So that's where marketing creativity begins. Let's just say Singapore keeps things on a tight leash, Malaysia gives a longer leash, and people run with it. So what could go wrong? Injecting anything biological, especially from another human, comes with risk. If the product isn't properly screened, you could end up with infections, immune reactions, or contaminations. And there have been reports overseas of people developing sepsis, fevers, inflammatory lumps after unregulated stem cell injections. And then there's the financial risk, paying thousands for something that might do absolutely nothing. Or the emotional risk, the heartbreak when hope collides with hard science. Now, why the hype won't die? Because the idea is seductive. We all want to believe aging is optional, that if we just find the right drip or the right capsule, we can stay frozen in time. And the clinics, they are clever. White lab coats, glowing testimonials, dramatic before and after photos is the modern version of the fountain of youth, just with LED lighting and a spa robe. So the bottom line is, stem cell research is exciting. It may one day transform how we treat aging, but right now, the science hasn't caught up with the sales pitch. If somebody offers you a stem cell drip, ask these 4 questions. What kind of cells are being used and from where? Are they being approved by any health authority? Are there any proper clinical trials for this purpose? And what are the known risks? If the clinic can't answer clearly or says, oh, don't worry, it's natural, that's your cue to run faster than your collagen levels after 50. Before you cross the border, chasing the elixir of youth, remember, science moves slower than marketing, and sometimes aging gracefully with good sunscreen, enough sleep, a healthy sense of humor might just be the best anti-aging treatment of all. This is Dr. Low Chai Ling, and you've been listening to Chai Files.